My God, it is getting so cold. It's getting really cold out. It almost feels like it's just January, not even November. Um, I would like to talk about how narcissists are highly, highly competitive. Like I said in my other video, where my narc mother tried to apply for the same job that I did when I first started my career. She was trying to get in to the same department I was in and apply for that and get that, job in that same department, which, basically she's been in a competition with me my whole life. So have both my narc siblings, which is actually pretty funny, seeing as they both really haven't done shit with their lives. One of them is married. She has a child. She has a son, which I don't know. I just know that she's fucking miserable. Like, I know they're fucking miserable because, I mean, it looks like the guy she got with is a Dusty. And he looks like he ain't shit. Like, he doesn't look like he, makes good money or that he's, successful at all. They live in an East Coast city in Philadelphia. I don't like Philadelphia. I've been there before. I mean, no offense to any of you guys that live there. I'm just not a fan of the city. But she lives there, so that's about it's about a 2-hour train ride out of NYC, give or take. Could be another hour depending on traffic, so maybe even 3 hours. So she lives there, and Philly is one of the least expensive cities on the East Coast, so it's more like a budget city. So that's where she lives, and she moved from our hometown, Omaha, to there when she was, I don't know if she was like 35, 36 when she moved. But because she's older than me by like 4 or 5 years. But yeah, so I mean, I just know, because the thing is, narcissists, sociopaths, they're fucking miserable. They get into these marriages, they get into these relationships, and it's all about status. It's all about, their image. It's all about maintaining the image of a relationship and having kids and stuff, when we all know they don't have any fucking business having no kids. First of all, they should be sterilized. They should be locked up. They all just need to be locked up in jail. That's my opinion. They need to be in 24/7 surveillance prison. You know how they like to surveil us all the time and fucking, monitor us and shit? Their fucking asses are the ones that need to be monitored, locked up in prison, monitored 24/7 confinement. Every single narcissist, every single sociopath, every single ASPD on this fucking planet needs to be in prison. And I fucking mean that. Like, I mean, all of them. I don't give a fuck. None of them are innocent. None of them. They're all out here destroying somebody in one way or another, or targeting them, or harassing them, or stalking them, or doing some shit to them to try to disrupt their peace. Every single last one of them are doing some fuck shit like that. That is why they deserve to be in jail, including her. But no, she's married. Yeah, my narc sibling is married. So she's got the status, she's got the social status, so she can show to society, hey, look, I'm normal. I've got a husband, I've got a kid, and look at you. And she can compare herself to me and be like, oh, she's the outlier, even though she's not successful. She hasn't done shit with her life. She's broke as fuck. She's living in a budget city on the East Coast. Philly is not an expensive city to live on the East Coast. It is a budget city. Compared to like Boston or NYC, it's a budget city. So she lives there, and, it's just like, nothing going on for her. But yet, she could sit there and talk about her status. Well, you know what, bitch, you're fucking miserable. Like, they are literally so miserable, because I know that, sociopath, narcissist women, they take a lot of abuse off men. Yeah, they do. They will stick by a man even if he rapes her, he beats on her, cheats on her. They stick around. Why? Because they want that status of claiming they're a wife and a mother and all this shit. I know sociopaths in and out. And that's exactly why they do it. They could hate kids. They could not like kids at all, but they do it anyway. And this is why I fucking hate them. I can't stand them. And they do shit that they don't even want to do all the time just for social status. You'll never ever catch me breaking my own boundaries and compromising my views and my beliefs just for social status. You'll never see me do that. I am not going to, do things I don't want to do. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. I don't want to do any of the shit that society says is normal, which I don't think it's normal. But, and because of that, a fucking sociopath, a fucking narcissist is seen as more normal than me. Even though, again, she's not successful, she hasn't done shit with her life, but because we live in a fucking patriarchy that only values women for what they can do for men and for children, and not just who they are on their own volition or what they've accomplished or anything. That's why it is the way it is, because of misogyny. So because of our fucked up world we live in, our fucked up patriarchal society that centers men and what they want, and also conditions women since little girls to also center men and cater to what men want and what they need. Because of that, this is why everything is as fucked up as it is. So yeah, but I know they're fucking miserable in those relationships. Personally, I love to be free. I love to be single. I don't want to be tied to anybody. I don't want any attachments. And I'm not hurting anybody. You know why? Because I'm not even dating. So if you're not even dating, then you're not manipulating anybody. You're not leading anybody on. You just want people to leave you the fuck alone. You just want to be free, and that's all I want. I don't want to control anybody. I don't want to manipulate anybody. I just want to be fucking free. I want to be free of male control. I want to be free of male oppression. And even non-narcissist men that I have, been around before, have disrespected me, have treated me horribly, have used misogyny and their societal privilege and patriarchy against me. So that is why I'm like a separatist. I'm like a female separatist. I don't want anything to do with them. And I fucking mean that. And I have been living this lifestyle of separatism for literally going on 9 years now. And I'm serious about it. So because I'm serious about it and I hold true to my principles, I get mocked and I get made fun of for it all the time. Because the thing about sociopaths, narcissists, is they will say they believe in something, but they don't actually stand by anything they say. So in other words, they're not attached to anything they believe in, because they could go to the other side tomorrow and it wouldn't faze them, because they don't really believe in anything they say they do. They just attach themselves to it for the status and the attention. They don't actually believe in any of the shit they say that comes out of their mouth. So they could say they're something, but they don't really mean it. They're really something else. There's all these different layers to their fake facade that, the act they're putting on, and it's just like everything is so fake about them. They can say they're one thing, but they're really not that, because behind closed doors they're going to be doing the exact opposite of what they claim they want or they are. So yeah, but they stay in these relationships even if they're fucking miserable. And yeah, it's fucking pathetic. But, I stay true to myself and I'm authentic. So, if I say that I'm going to do something or whatever, I fucking mean it. Like, I'm serious about it. I'm not compromising anything on my boundaries. I don't compromise. Like, I literally don't for anybody. I don't give a fuck. But they do, like, they will do all this shit that makes them so miserable just to put on a mask, just to put on an act and get social acceptance. They are sociopaths, narcissists are the ultimate validation seekers. Schizoids are like the complete opposite of them. They get all their validation internally. Like, internally from within, they get all the validation, but narcissists, sociopaths are empty on the inside. There's nothing, they can't internally validate. Everything's external for them. Like, everything is external for their ego. Everything's external. Their validation's external. Nothing is internal with them. Everything has to be validated externally through money, status, relationships, all this stuff, social relationships, status, all this. They don't validate from within. They don't validate from within. See, and I'm fucking successful. I have been highly successful most of my life, ever since I graduated school. Like, I was always ambitious. I finished school early, high school early, got into college early. Flew through nursing school with flying colors, with one of the top in my class. Although now with the Mr. Orange, Mr. Orange, you know, the orange clown, trying to now make nursing a non-professional degree. I'm just so glad I graduated when I did with my nursing license, because now he's trying to say that nurses, and the Trump administration is targeting all these because he's a misogynist. He's targeting all these female-dominated professions, right? Like nursing and nurse practitioner and physician assistant, and he's trying to delegitimize those professions and say that those aren't professional degrees, so that students won't get the loans to do those programs. They won't get as much loans as, say, someone who wants to become an engineer or a doctor. So he's trying to delegitimize these degree programs, basically. I'm just so glad I graduated like 12 years ago and got my nursing degree and have my license and profession and career and everything already, because for the students going into it now, it's just, I feel bad for them. But yeah, it just goes to show you this administration's hatred of women, and that's why they're going after all of these female dominated professions to try to delegitimize them. They literally want this to be like a Handmaid's Tale. They want us basically to be forced back into being with men, trying to force us to be with them. And because they know that if we have resources, if we have money, a lot of women are going to opt out of being with men. They're not going to want to be with them. And rightfully so, because of the disrespect, because of the way men treat us, because of the, you know, misogyny and all this stuff, and the way men, you know, disrespect us constantly and treat us horrifically. A lot of women would not choose to be with them if they had the means, the resources, all that. They would not. Such as myself, in my case. You know, if you're successful and you have resources, men fucking know that you're most likely not going to want anything to do with them. They fucking know it. That is why this administration is literally trying to do all these things to take away women's autonomy, to try to literally force us to be with men again, to rely on them, and to force us to pair with them when we don't fucking want to. A lot of us don't, you know, and they're trying to literally force us to have to rely on them again. Over my, no, just no, that's, no. It's really fucked up. But yeah, this is such a fucked up, you know, fucked up country, a fucked up nation. And I have my other passport waiting on standby just in case shit really hits the fan. My UK, my British passport, just in case if I need to bounce ever out of this country, because shit is just getting worse and worse for women here. Women's rights are just literally being obliterated by this administration. And it's just really scary, but they're literally trying to turn this into a Handmaid's Tale, like literally trying to turn us into all these, like, you know, cattle, like our only purpose is to reproduce. That's it. So just broad mares, you know. It's really disgusting. It's like total objectification. It's like you have sexual objectification, that men objectify us sexually and see us as objects, sexual objects. And then you have also seeing us as broad mares, and just breeding cattle is also objectifying us and seeing us as objects for their use. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just upset about that. But I guess I'm like grateful to be in a blue city, a blue state, but I need to get a little more active politically, like joining the No Kings protest and all this stuff. Like, I really do. But yeah, all the sociopaths, the narcissists, are secretly rooting for him, for Trump. Even if they try to say they don't like him, they do. Because they identify with the sociopath. I mean, they look up to them. That's like the one they look up to. They look up to Elon Musk. They look up to all the wealthy men, the male sociopaths, in power in this country, because men are the ones that hold all the wealth and power in the world, not women. So they look up to these men. They look up to them. They literally do. They wish they were them. So yeah, even if they say they don't support Trump, they do. They do. And they voted him in on purpose, to try to target and destroy women and other marginalized groups. So yeah, but you know, as a successful woman, like I don't, I mean, I don't compare myself to them, to my siblings, but I don't need to, you know. I don't need to. I know that I made it in life a long ass time ago. I was successful and still am. I started being highly successful at a very young age at 22. I was literally balling in Miami, like doing amazing. And I started off on a good foot in Miami, so as in my career. So I have always been, you know, doing well and successful compared to my siblings, compared to almost everyone in my family, my toxic family. And of course, they've never acknowledged that or given me any credit or had anything to say about it because they're fucking jealous. They're fucking jealous. They're jealous of my looks. They're jealous of my status. They're jealous of the fact that I can travel anywhere, anytime. Not anytime, I mean, anytime off work, but they're jealous of the fact that I could just pick up on a whim and do anything. They're jealous of my freedom, I'm sure, especially since my oldest sibling had a kid. What is she, like almost 40 now? That's a pretty late time to have a kid, and good luck with that. I mean, I feel like if women want to do it, it's better to do it like younger so that, you know, you have a little bit of more free time in your like late 30s, 40s, but she's doing it late, so I mean, that's gonna be a lot of work for her at an older age. It kind of sucks, but I'm gonna be enjoying myself, that's for goddamn sure, and living it up on the East Coast and having a great time while she's, you know, stuck slaving away doing shit she probably doesn't even want to do for a man because she's a pick-me. She's a pick-me ass biatch. Yes, both my siblings are pick-me's, and they will lick the ass of a man. They will do anything that he asks them to, just for that status. They'll take all kinds of abuse off men. They will. I know them. They don't have any self-esteem. So yeah, so those are my siblings, my narc siblings. Female narcissists have zero self-esteem. They will literally allow themselves to be sexually used, objectified, you know, abused, bullied into the ground by men. They literally will. They won't stand up to them. They won't talk back to them. They won't say anything. I fucking know them. I fucking know the female borderlines, the narcissists. They're pick-me's. Pick me, pick me. They want to be picked so bad. And when they get picked, they're fucking miserable. Because a lot of the times they're tied with a man-child. They are tied down to a fucking man-child who can't even support them, doesn't even have any money to support them or the family or whatever the fuck. They're fucking miserable. And they're probably the ones trying to work, slave away at some minimum wage, whatever the fuck job, just to try to support all of them. That's probably what they're doing. I'm so glad I never ever have to be in that position, and never will. Thank God. I was smart enough to opt out of all that, but of course I get a lot of shit because, you know, as single women, you can't just fucking exist in society without someone having to say some stupid shit like, where's your man? Like, fuck off. Like, fuck you. I don't need one. I don't need a man. I've never needed a man. And I never will need a man. And I say this as a straight woman. I mean, I'm more asexual, but I say this as a straight one. Yeah, I'm straight. But I still am saying, fuck you, I don't need a man. And I don't want one. And I'm serious about it. I'm serious, because if I wasn't serious, listen, this is how you know I'm dead serious. 9 years. In 9 fucking years since I've even been on a date. That's a long fucking time. That's a long ass time. Since my 20s. Since 26. That's a long time. That means I am not fucking around, and I am fucking dead serious about my separatism. I'm not just talking the talk. I'm walking the walk, and I'm fucking living it. Real life, in the fucking flesh. I am living this exact lifestyle that I preach about. And I'm dead serious about it. And that's why you see I'm glowing. That's why you see I look stress-free and happy, because I have been happily, yes, happily, seriously, happily, joyfully single for that long and not dealing with men, and that is why I look like I do. Seriously, I haven't been dealing with men in general, all men, yeah, even the good ones. And I have not been dealing with toxic women, female narcissists. I specifically go out of my way to make friends with just regular women, not, who may have some trauma, but they're not a cluster B. I refuse to tolerate cluster Bs. Cluster B toxic relationships with toxic cluster B women. I avoid them too. Again, that's why I look like the way that I do. And my energy, my peaceful, calm energy, annoys the female narcissists that I run into. It annoys them because they want that chaotic energy, right? They want that chaos, that high drama, high emotion, and I'm not going to give you shit. I'm not going to give you shit, bitch. I'm not giving you any of that energy. There's nothing high drama about me. There's nothing high drama. There's no chaos. There's no high emotion. You're not getting shit from me, and they know this. They know that I'm not a good source of supply, so when the female narcissists meet me too, they don't want to deal with me. They don't like my energy. And likewise, I sense something off about them too, and I don't like their energy either. So no, we clash, we totally clash. We do not get along. Narcissists stick to other narcissists. Cluster Bs stick with cluster Bs, and abusers stick with abusers and support other abusers over you. So if you're not a cluster B, if you're not an abuser, guess what? That's right, they're all going to tag team against you and come against you. That narcissist that you think you're with, he's going to get all these female narcissists, everybody around to gang up on you, the non-narcissist. That's right. So you got to form your own motherfucking army. Your own clique of, I don't care if it's autistic people, schizoid people, whatever the fuck, neurodivergence, get your own fucking army to stand by you, your allies, to stand up against them. Because it's you and your fucking clique and your army of neurodivergence and schizoids or whatever the fuck against them versus them. That's right. Because they are your enemy. So they're like the sworn enemy of schizoids, the total complete opposite. At least I know schizoid women, they're the enemy of us. I think schizoid males, they will get with borderline women because they are kind of detached emotionally. So they will use her like an object, just sexually for sex, and that's it. Which I don't agree with those ethics, obviously, of the schizoid males doing shit like that to women. Even cluster Bs, I think it's really fucked up. But they do that shit. So, yeah, I avoid them too. But I just wanted to say that about the highly competitive nature of them and how they're constantly in a competition with you. They're watching what you got going on. They want to see where you're traveling to, where you're going. They got to constantly watch and monitor every little thing about your life. When it's funny because they could put all that energy they spend monitoring you into leveling themselves up, into their own growth and productivity. But instead, they're wasting their own fucking time by trying to mirror you and follow you and see what you got going on, even though it doesn't fucking matter. But they constantly have to like watch and monitor, even if you guys are not in each other's lives. They gotta do it. I'm sure my toxic family tries to keep tabs on me all the time because I'm the successful one in the family compared to, especially my siblings. Like I said, they haven't done anything with their life. They didn't even finish their school. They didn't finish school. They didn't finish their degree. They didn't do shit. But one of them had a baby and she got married, so that's why she's more legitimate in society than me. All because of that. Even though that shit, anybody can fucking do that. Anybody can get married tomorrow. Anybody can have a kid tomorrow. But not everybody can pass the nursing NCLEX exam. Not everybody can get an RN license. Not everybody can survive in New York City, even for like a year living there, because it's like one of the toughest cities in the world to live and make it. And like Anne, you know, like seriously. So, you know, I know my siblings at the end of the day, they're fake as fuck. They're not authentic. They are narcissists. And they will constantly be miserable because they're going to constantly be doing shit they don't want to do just to please other people, because they have no identity. They don't have a sense of identity. They don't have a sense of self. And they don't have any self-esteem or self-worth. So yeah, they have no identity. And I do. I have a solid sense of self and a solid fucking identity. And I am proud of that. I'm very proud of that. And I make fun of the cluster Bs that don't know who they are, that don't have a sense of self. I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious, and I think they're fucking ridiculous, and they just look really stupid. Walking around being fake, like they are fake, acting, really bad acting. I can see right through the act. Their emotions, everything's fake about them. Because they're a false self, right? So they're not real. Nothing. Their whole life is a lie. Everything about them is a lie. Even their anger is a fucking lie. Their anger is an act too. They're not even legitimately angry when they get angry. They're like, everything is an act. So yeah, I don't want that fakeness in my life. I just want realness. I want authenticity. I want genuineness. I want honesty. And they are the complete opposite of all that. They're the complete opposite of all that. Everything about them is a fucking lie. Everything. Nothing about them is real. They're fake. And I don't like fakeness. I don't do fake. So yeah, that's why I don't want to deal with them. So yeah, I know for sure I am better than my siblings. I am better than all those motherfuckers in my toxic family that try to, you know, tear me down, try to get me to reconcile back with the abusers from my family. No, you can all lick a dick. I mean, they can all lick a dick. And that's not pleasant, I know. It doesn't sound pleasant, but that's how I feel about them. And if they ever try to rear their ugly heads or pop back up or try to get a piece of my success or my successful life, or, oh, where you at? What you doing? Can I stay with you if I'm in some, you know, amazing city or living there? Oh, can I stay with you? No, you can't. Because I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to answer. And you're just going to get my ass to kiss. That's what you're going to get. If you ever try to pop back up, you know, rear your ugly head, come back in, try to communicate again. No. You're going to get shut the fuck down, blocked, fucking deleted, bitch. Bye. Into the trash can you go. You try to fucking throw me into the trash, bitch. You try to say I was trash and that everything about me was trash when you're the fucking trash. The narcissists are the fucking trash. They're the predators. And they know they're trash. They know they're worthless. But they have to try to make you feel like that because that's how they feel. So yeah, stop feeling sorry for people, you know, keep that sympathy. You can feel sorry, but from a distance, you know, don't get involved in their problems. Don't get involved in their crises on a personal level. Keep your distance, you know, keep your boundaries. Do not get sucked into their crises, their drama, their financial crises, all this shit. Put your foot down, say, no, that's not my fucking problem. You deal with it. You're a grown-ass adult. You've been a grown-ass adult, and I'm sure you can handle it. Say, hey, I'm sorry that's going on, but I'm sure you got this. I'm sure you can handle it. And move on. Because that's what they try to pull you in with, is pity and sympathy. When they're a fucking grown-ass adult, and they can pick themselves up and do everything they need to do to get to, you know, whatever, to achieve what they need to achieve. They know they can do it. Because if their victims can do it, the ones they targeted and tried to destroy again and again and again, can pick themselves up by the fucking bootstraps and make it and be fine and successful, then the predators, the ones out here destroying everyone, I'm sure can do it too. So yeah, I truly do believe that they need to be locked up. Every single one of them belongs in jail. No exceptions. No exceptions. Yeah, every cluster B. That's right. Borderline, narcissist, sociopath, psychopath, all of them. Just locked up in prison and monitored and studied. Yeah. Monitored, 24/7 monitoring, surveillance, because none of them are innocent. The vast majority of those who are locked up in jail for violent crime, all kinds of crimes, are ASPDs. Most of them are ASPDs or narcissists. The vast majority of criminals are diagnosed with the cluster B personality disorder, but they're the ones out here walking free among us, but they're not innocent. None of them are innocent. They're all doing some kind of criminal shit behind your back. They're doing some illegal shit. Every single fucking one of them. It's part of their diagnostic criteria, literally, to be a piece of shit. That's literally part. Like, if you look up in the DSM-5, no, I'm just kidding. Like, and you look up the criteria for their NPD or whatever, it's gonna say is a piece of shit. Like, it's literally gonna be like part of the the diagnostic criteria. Must be a piece of shit. But yeah, they're gonna be and doing something illegal. They are, every single one of them. I don't care. They're not, none of them. No cluster B is innocent. So yeah, that's why they all deserve to be locked up. And I'm serious about that. Like, I'm dead serious that they all belong in jail, in prison. So yeah, and then wouldn't that be great if we had them all locked up and they had no access to anyone for supply? That would be great. And they couldn't get our energy or our attention. That would be amazing. So yeah, but yeah, they do, see that you're glowing, happy, peaceful, and what do the cluster Bs want to do? They want to come around and destroy your hard-won peace, self-esteem, happiness, glowing. And you know what their perfect victim is for a narcissist, malignant narcissist predator, is somebody who has already healed, from a malignant narcissist or a sociopath, and has done the hard work, healed, and moved on with their lives, and is fully healed. They want to come back in and fuck up a survivor, a victim who has fully healed. That's like their best supply, right? That's like they're like, I can be that good. I can be, a better abuser than the one who targeted you before. That's literally their thinking. Their thinking is, I'm going to be bigger and better and more of a predator than the last predator that came after you and targeted you. They want to be like the best, right? So they want to prove that they can be the abuser that's like your worst abuser, basically. That's the whole reason. They're competing with your last abuser to try to be the best abuser and the one that is like the most that destroys you the worst, or whatever the fuck. They're literally competing with the other narcissists that were in your life. So you know what? You can tell them all to fuck off, to eat a dick, eat a bucket of dicks, and if they even dare think that they can cross you like that and get past your boundaries, get into your life. Because the thing about them is boundaries, the law, none of that shit means anything to them. They don't care. Now, they do care about consequences. They don't want to be inconvenienced. They don't want to have to deal with any responsibilities or accountability. They don't want to have to spend any jail time. They don't want that. But like, at the same time, because they just don't want to be inconvenienced, but they also aren't really like afraid of it. I don't know if that makes sense, but sometimes consequences can deter them if you hold them accountable and there's consequences. Sometimes they don't really care. It depends on probably the specific narcissist, but a lot of them, I mean, they're generally like not afraid of the law, especially ASPDs. They're really not afraid of like the law. They think that they can manipulate and like the law and like get away with whatever they do. So they're not really like afraid as much. But do they want to spend time in prison? No, they don't want to get caught. Like, they don't care about what they do to their victims or how they traumatize or hurt them or stalk them or like try to like make them feel, trigger their PTSD and all this shit. And so they'll come after survivors in this community just to try to fucking trigger us, our PTSD. That's why they do what they do. So they are a wolf in sheep's clothing in this survivor community that come in not to help and heal, but they come into these communities to hunt, right? They're hunting for people who have already healed from a past narcissist, and they're coming in to try to, you know, target and re-victimize you. That's the only reason they come into these communities. But I see right through it. I see right fucking through them. I expose them. I rip their mask off. And they fucking hate that shit. They come after me the second I expose them and unmask them. And because they're delusional. They're like, they want to project onto me, oh, you're the narcissist. No, bitch, that's you. And I already unmasked you. That's why you're mad. You know, narcissists and toxic people, they get so triggered when I expose them and unmask them. They go into a fucking rage. A fucking violent rage. A tantrum, a rage. Like a 3-year-old throwing a tantrum, literally. They get mad because they know that I'm fucking right. That's why they get so mad. That's why they get so mad when I expose them. And I've shown everybody on my channel and this entire YouTube community that I'm not a narcissist, because I have shown two. Was it two? Yeah, two. Psychiatric evaluations, professional psychiatric evaluations from psychiatrists that have shown that I am not a narcissist or a borderline or any cluster B. I'm the complete opposite of that. Yeah. If you are a schizoid, if you are autistic, if you have MDD, major depression, if you have PTSD with dissociation, that is the complete opposite of a fucking narcissist or a sociopath. That is the profile of one of their victims. That is not a profile of them. So I have already proven to the entire YouTube world that I am not one, through professional paperwork, diagnoses. I really don't have to do anything else. I mean, at that point. But a narcissist, a sociopath, they're never going to sit in front of a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and get a diagnosis. Most of them are, unless they're like court ordered or mandated to do it. They're not going to want to do it because they know that the results are going to show what they are. That's why they don't want to see the results, because they fucking know that they're going to be exposed. Because if they weren't afraid of being exposed, why would they have an issue? Why would they have an issue sitting down in the chair of a psychiatrist's room and getting tested? Why would they should be glad to do it. They should be happy to do it. Why? They shouldn't have an issue with getting diagnosed. What's the problem? What's the issue? I don't see what the problem is. If you have nothing to hide, if you have nothing to hide, what's the problem? See? Because they have a lot to hide. That's why. So me, I don't have anything to hide. I'm very transparent, very upfront, very direct, very straightforward, very honest, very blunt, very gritty. And just no bullshit, you know? There's no bullshit on my channel. There's no bullshit coming from me. I'm completely straightforward and transparent with everybody on here. And that's what narcissists can't stand. They can't stand your authenticity. They can't stand that you're not actually a narcissist through proving it through paperwork, diagnoses. They can't stand all that. They can't stand it. And all they really want to do is fucking re-victimize you and re-destroy you, or try to destroy you from where the last narcissist left off. That's all. That's all they're looking to do. That's all. And they know that you were a victim, and they want to come in to this community and try to trigger people who already have PTSD, and they know what buttons to push to trigger PTSD. They do. PTSD symptoms. They know. They know exactly how to trigger somebody's PTSD. So all they're trying to do is trying to re-victimize you. That's it. And it's fucking pathetic. It's fucking pathetic. It's fucking cowardly. They are cowards. Complete opportunistic cowards. Cowardly predators. That's all they are. Cowardly, insecure predators just looking for an opportunity. That's it. That's all. Pathetic. Fucking pathetic. Narcissists, sociopaths are fucking pathetic. They're pathetic. That's like the only word I could really use to describe them, is just fucking pathetic. You know how they like to call us pathetic all the time? They're victims. They're pathetic. They're fucking pathetic. So, you know, they like to blame everything but themselves. They like to blame the whole world for all their woes and everything instead of taking fucking accountability and actually doing something to better their lives, you know? They want to target somebody to use them for stability, right? Well, they can use that one person for stability and a stable looking life and then go and run the streets with all the other cluster Bs and narcissists and have a great time all behind your back, laughing behind your back. That's literally why they want somebody who is stable. And I actually have this theory, and I'm going to say it like really quick before I jump off. So the reason why a narcissist sociopath male will target a schizoid female or an autistic female, let me tell you why, is because she is a lot more low maintenance emotionally compared to like a borderline female, right? Or like a narcissist women, sociopath women. She's schizoid or autistic women are way more low maintenance emotionally because they're very good at regulating their own emotions, right? Same if you have CPTSD. But a borderline, a narcissist female is not. They have to make everything about themselves. They're constantly throwing tantrums themselves and very high maintenance emotionally. And the narcissistic male, sociopath male, he doesn't want to deal with that. Because he wants everything to be about him, right? So he's going to get with somebody who's low, emotional, who's more like stable and calm, like a schizoid. That's like his perfect victim, right? That's like the male sociopath's perfect victim is a schizoid female, literally, because of the low maintenance, right? Emotionally and all that. Like the way he sees it is, oh well, I don't really have to show up emotionally. I don't have to do anything. This is like, it's great for him. It's easy. Like it's so, compared to like if he was with like another narcissist or a borderline or all that. And it'd be like a constant rivalry, constant competition, between them and all that. This is why they want to go after schizoids and use us. But don't let them fucking use you. Don't let them fucking play you like that. And I'm giving you the blueprint as to why they would prefer a schizoid victim, autistic or schizoid, autistic, whatever victim, to come after, is because of that low maintenance thing that I just said. And it's totally true. Like, that's why they would want to come after you, is for that reason. You are low maintenance to deal with. They don't have to do shit. They don't have to do nothing to deal with you. It's easy for them. Don't let them take advantage of your personality type. Don't let them, use that against you. Like, seriously, like, don't allow it. Don't allow it. Don't allow them to use your calmness against you. Don't allow them to use any of that shit against you. Don't. Because that's what they're going to try to do. Literally. They're going to look for all your vulnerabilities, all your buttons, and even schizoids have vulnerabilities. Like everyone does, even narcissists. Everybody does. They're going to try to find